Namaste students, myself Sunil Kumar from the Department of Computer Science. In last session, we discussed about the basics of computers and input and output and memory devices. Means all the basics of hard computer system in that hardware part. Today, we are going to deal with the software part. The chapter is software concepts. Today is a computer system. The computer system mainly consists of three parts. One is hardware, software and the user. Hardware means the physical components of the computer system. Any computer if you take, in that all the physical part, that is actually known as hardware. At the same time, software. Software is a set of programs or set of instructions that tells the computer how to work. That is actually known as software. Next one is users. One who uses the computer, that person is known as users. These are the mainly computer system contains the three parts. In that, we will move to the software part. Hardware you already discussed in the last chapter, input, output and memory devices. Here, we are moving to the software. What is software? Software is a set of programs or procedures or algorithms or documents. Anything, it may be anything, either programs or procedures, algorithms or documents, and it will deal with the computer. Any computer set of instructions or set of programs, that is actually known as a software. If you take the software mainly are of two types. One is application software, one is system software. Software is mainly divided into two types. One is system software and second one is application software. If you move to the system software is a collection of system programs to perform the common task. If you want to perform the common task in case of computers, then some softwares are required. That type of softwares are known as system softwares. If you take the system software again divided into different types. The first one is operating system. Operating system is the one main system software. Second is the language translators that will translate the languages. And next one is utilities or basic softwares of the system. So these are the system softwares. Mainly system software is collection of system programs that is used to perform the necessary task or common task in case of computer system. Next one is application softwares. Application softwares consist of user application packages. If you want to work with the computer, for example, if you want to browse the internet, normally you use a Google Chrome. That Google Chrome is software that is installed to our system to access the internet. But if you want to work with if you want to prepare the PPT, PowerPoint presentation, or if you want to prepare or if you are going to read the PDF files, or if you are playing any games, that all are installed packages, later installed packages, it has a specific task. So that type of softwares are known as application softwares, user application packages. That is application softwares. Then application software is again divided into two types. One is general purpose software and specific purpose software. There are mainly two types, general purpose and special purpose. General purpose means one application will perform the many tasks. One application will perform many tasks. For example, Microsoft Office. If you install the particular package, Microsoft Office, in that Microsoft Word will be there, PPT will be there, PowerPoint will be there, and same time any other softwares. And in that database is there and same time spreadsheet. So this is one general purpose software. Like that, some other special purpose softwares are there. For example, Photoshop. If we install the Photoshop software, we can perform only the Photoshop operations or you can edit only images. So like that, general purpose software and special purpose software. General purpose means in that particular application packages, we can perform multiple tasks or many tasks is possible to perform in case of one application package. That is known as general purpose application software. The special purpose that is installed for particular task. If you want to perform any particular task, then there is a special purpose application softwares. Examples are Microsoft Office, OpenOffice, Tally, then Google Chrome, like that. Any applications later installed in a system, that is known as application softwares. Then we will move to the first one. If you take the computer system, as I told, computer system contains hardware and and user softwares. Mainly contains hardware, users and the software systems. Hardware is the inner part and same time user is the outer. User, if you want to interact with the system or hardware, is not possible directly. The user should interact with the application softwares. From the application software should link with the system software. Then system software will interact with the hardware. Application software cannot deal with the hardware directly. This is the how system is working. Next we will move to the system software. System software, the first one is operating system, as I told, operating system. Second one is language translators. Last one is utilities. These are the important ones. The first one is operating system. Operating system is a set of programs or modules which provide friendly interface between user and the computer resources. If you want to interact with the computer system, mainly operating system is required. It's a complex program, contains many programs that will deal with the computer system or hardware. Means user cannot deal the hardware directly. If you want to deal with the hardware, you have to use the system software. That system software is known as operating system. Then user communicate with the computer through operating system commands or instructions. You have to use the instruction to the computer or operating system that will deal the hardware system. Examples: Unix operating system, Linux operating system or Linux operating system, Windows operating systems, MS-DOS. The earlier Windows operating system is MS-DOS, Microsoft Disk operating system. Later Windows application software operating systems, Windows XP, Windows NT, Windows 7, Windows 8 and Windows 10 like that. Then Android. Android is a operating system mainly we are using in case of mobiles, smartphones. The next one is language translators. Second one is language translators. Before moving to the language translators, first you have to know what is the language? It's computer languages. The computer language is a set of rules called syntax. Computer language contains set of rules or grammars, that is actually known as syntax, which the user has to follow. You have to follow the particular rules given in particular programming language and you have to instruct the computer what operation are to be performed. Which operation you have to perform later, that we are instructing the computer by using the computer languages. It is a set of rules. If you take the English language, normal English language, it contains its own grammar. If you take any other language, Kannada or Malayalam or any other languages, each language contains its own grammar. Like that, if you take the computer system or computer languages, computer language also contains its own grammar. That grammar is known as syntax or rules. We have to follow the particular rules to use the computer language. If you are using English language, you have to follow the grammar. Same here, if you take the computer language, you have to follow the syntax given in a language. If you take the computer language is mainly divided into two types. One is low-level language and one is high-level language. Low-level language and high-level language. Low-level language again divided into two types, or again categorized into two types. One is mission-level language, one more is assembly-level languages. Mission-level language, assembly-level language, and next one is high-level languages. High-level language again divided into two types, or categorized into two types. One is general-purpose high-level languages, and one more specific-purpose high-level languages. We will move to the low-level languages, so mission-level languages first. Mission-level language is only the language of the system. If you take the computer system can understand only the machine-level language. It's not possible to understand any other language. If you are using any other languages, you have to convert the particular language into machine-level language. For the computer, it can understand only the machine-level language. Remember this. These are sequence of instructions. It contains the machine instructions, and normally we can represent this machine-level language by using the zeros and ones. You can use zeros or ones to represent the machine-level languages. But if you take the computer system, computer cannot understand these zeros and ones. Normally it will represent zeros and ones in machine-level languages. That is for our use. But if you take the computer system cannot understand these zeros and ones. The computer can understand voltage levels. 0 means it's a low voltage, 1 means high voltage. 0 normal low voltage, 1 is a high voltage. That we are represent using 0 and 1s. The voltage levels. Remember, low voltage, high voltage, or off and on. Normally voltage is off and voltage is on. That we are represented by the 0 and 1s. Only this language can be understood by the computer system. The next one is assembly level languages. Assembly level language uses a symbolic instructions. Some symbols are used to represent. In case of machine level language, we are using only the 0 and 1 to represent for or the coding purpose we use 0 and 1. But in case of assembly level language, instead of 0 and 1, we are using some English-like words. That is known as mnemonics. Mnemonics. Mnemonics is the symbolic instructions or codes we are using in assembly level languages. Computer does not understand the assembly level language. I told computer can understand only the machine level language. If we write any code in assembly level language, we have to convert that into machine level language. Then computer will understand that one. If you take some examples for the mnemonics, see, if you want to add two numbers, you have to use add. Add is one symbol. The next one is if you want to subtract two numbers, it is not subtract, it is sub, S-U-B. If you want to multiply two numbers, these are not multiplication or multiply, this M-U-L. If you want to load the data or if you want to insert the data, then you have to use load. If you want to stop, then halt, H-A-L-T. These are the some symbols. The next one is high level language. Nowadays, we are not using assembly level language or we are not using the machine level language. We are using the high level language. It is developed because you have to overcome the difficulties of low level or assembly level languages. It is a machine independent. If you take the machine level language or assembly level language, that is dependent to the particular systems. If you write the coding in one system, that will work only in the particular system. It's not working in other systems. So if you use a high level language, if you write the program in one system, it can be copied to any other systems also. That's a platform independent or machine independent. And it uses English-like languages. Not exactly English, English-like languages. Here examples for the high level languages: C, C++, Java, Basic, Python, like that. Many programming languages are there. Which one is required, that we can use. But if you write a program in one language, it can be executed in all other systems. These are the three types of languages. The first three types of languages are there: machine level language, assembly level language, and high level languages. If you take in the system software mainly three types. One is operating system, language translators, then the last one is utilities. Next one is language translators. Language translators perform the translation of high level language or assembly level language into a machine level language. If you want to convert any high level language or assembly level language into machine level language, we are using the language translators. Then here there are mainly three types of language translators are present. One is assembler, one more compiler, and last one is interpreters. Assemblers, compilers, and interpreter. These are the three language translators. The first one is assembler. Assembler is a system software that will convert assembly level language into a low level language or machine level languages. But assembler is a language translator, it's a system software that will convert assembly level language into a machine level language. That is known as assemblers. Next one is compilers. Compiler is also a system software. This will convert high level language into machine level languages. Remember, assembler will convert assembly level language into low level or machine level language. Then if you take a compiler will convert high level language into low machine level languages. Then if you take one more interpreter also will convert high level to machine level. If you take a compiler and interpreter both will convert high level language into a machine level languages. The difference is In case of compiler, compiler will convert entire program in one go at a time. At a time, whole program will be converted into machine level code and it will display the list of errors. Any errors are there or any syntax mistake or it is known as grammar mistake in the program, that will be displayed in case of compilers. Entire program will be converted at a time. But in case of interpreter, it is not like that. Interpreter will convert the entire program, but it is a line by line. It will convert one line, it will show the errors. If that error is cleared, it will go for the converting next line. Like that, it will interpret the line or interpret the program line by line. This is the three language translators. The next one is utilities, system utilities. The system utilities are the helpful programs that assist the computer by performing the useful functions. That will assist the computer by performing the useful functions like backing up of disk or will take the backup of disk. That is scanning the virus. System software, not installed antivirus. The system itself will contain one antivirus, that is scanning, same time backing up, like that any other system software, system board. That is the work of utilities. Utilities, there are two types here. Two examples are given. One is linkers and one more is loader. Linker is the software which links the program or modules segments together. If you are going to create any software, that software contains many programs. The software contains different or number of programs. All the programs are combined by using the linkers. Linker will combine all the program or all the program modules together. The next loader is a system software which accepts the object program or machine code produced by the compiler or assembler and prepares these programs for execution. Loader will take the machine level language or is a machine level program and it will prepare the program for execution. That is the work of loader. These are the utilities. The next one is functions of operating system. If you take the operating system mainly contains different functions. It is a large or complex program consisting of several words or several parts, components. There are different components are available in case of operating system. Each component contains its own work. To perform this type of work contains different functions. The functions of the operating system are memory management. Memory management is the one main work. Same time process management, device management, file management, protection and security and user interface. Memory management means when we have to load the data or when you have to delete the memory or when you have to free the memory. That everything comes under memory management. If one program is executing or if you are going to store one data in the system. If you want to store the data in the system, where we should store the data? Either C drive or D drive or which place you have to store. That is decided by the memory management or memory. That is the work of memory management. When you have to load the data or where you have to store the data, from which place you have to delete the data from the system. All the works comes under memory management. Next one is process management. Process means a program execution. The program in execution. If you are executing any program, that is known as a process. For example, if you are going to play one music, that playing time, that music is playing, that actually is known as process. That is a process management. Process management means when you have to load the process or when you have which process should be executed. If there are two songs you are going to play, if you are making a playlist, there are 10 songs or 20 songs are there. First song we are going to play, later which song should be played, either random or list. This is actually known as process management. Next, memory management function is device management. Device management means devices are example hardware components. That is actually known as devices. For example, printer if you connect to the printers or if you connect any other devices. Normally if you went for cyber cafe and all, One printer will be there, many computers will be there. One printer is connected to many computers. Actually, that is actually the device management. One device will be there. All systems are using the same device. For which system you have to give the priority. That is actually using your device management. Whenever if you are going to attach one device, for example, if you are inserting USB, automatically it will show that autoplay. Autoplay will show. That is the work of device management. Eject the USB drive. When you are going to eject the USB drive, safely remove. That is the work of device management. So when device should be attached or when device should be dispatched, like that all the works comes under device management. Next one is file management. File means any files, document files or folders. That is actually comes under device management. So that comes under file management. Where we should show the file and which software should be required to use the particular file. For example, if you want to read the PDF reader is required. Or if you want to read the document, any document reader is required. Like that all the works comes under device management. And one more important work of the operating system is protection and security. To provide the security and protection to your files. If you take any file, if you are going to insert any file, automatically system will scan. If you are not installing any antivirus software also, system itself contains its defenders or antivirus softwares. That is the main work of OS. The last one is user interface. Which type of interface will be provided by the system? For example, if you take the nowadays, we will use the icons and all. That will discuss later. User interface and discuss later. Next one is types of operating system. Based on the functions or based on the time or based on the service requirement, operating systems are of different types. The first one is single user operating system. Single user operating system means only one user is allowed to use one system. Multiple users cannot possible. Only one user can use the system, that is known as single user operating system. The next one is batch processing operating system. It is like a playing a video or if you are playing the audio or music in a playlist. If you want to play the 10 songs normally, what we will do? We will select all the songs, we will make a playlist. And first song will be played by us. Second song will automatically will set the songs. After completion of first song, we will play the second song. Like that, in batch processing systems, OS makes the program into groups. There are, if you want to execute 10 programs, the 10 programs it will make as a one group. That group is known as batches. So, normally in case of batch processing system, it will create the batches. In that batch, first program user should execute. User should execute the first program. The next program, after completion of first program, automatically it will execute the second program. Like that, it will execute one after another, and program will be executed in FIFO manner, first in, first out. Which program is inserted first to a operating system, that will be executed first, then later. These are the batch processing system or batch operating system. Next one is multitasking operating system. Multitasking operating system, as the name indicates, multiple tasks or process can be executed simultaneously. Simultaneously, we can execute multiple tasks or multiple programs or multiple processes together. That is the work of multitasking operating system. Nowadays, we are using the multitasking. In a mobile, same time we will listen the class and same time we will play the games. That is our next best example. Now, let's do same thing. Same time we will listen the class from online lecturing and same time WhatsApp will be on and same time we will use some other gaming applications. This is the multitasking. In the same system, we can work different programs or different softwares together. That is multitasking. Next one is multi-user operating system. In case of multi-user operating system, one system can be used by multiple users. multiple user can use the same system, that is multi-user operating system. The next one is real-time operating system. Real-time operating system, it is based on the deadlines. We are giving the deadline to the any process. If you want to complete one process within the particular deadline. For example, we will give the normal assignment, you should finish that assignment within 9 p.m. So that is a one deadline. Like that, in real-time operating system, deadlines will be given. In this particular time, you should finish the particular task. The system should finish this task within the particular time. That is a real-time operating system. Last one is network operating system. In case of network operating system, this allows user to access the remote systems. If you want to access the remote system means the place we can't reach normally. In that system, in that place, if you want to access the systems, we will use the network operating system. For example, you can say the ATM. ATM is the one networking operating system. Main server will be there in one place, and all the ATM counters or ATM machines are connected to the main devices. So we can access all the ATMs to the central machine. That is a network operating system. The last, user interface. If you take the user interface, I told there are mainly two types. One is command line user interface, one more is graphical user interface. Command line means user allowed to interact with the computer with the help of text terminal. Means if we have to use the command lines, commands we have to use to access the system. It's an older version of interact. In older days, if you switch on the computer, we will get only the black screen. In that black screen, we have to type the commands and we can execute that. One more is graphical user interface. In case of graphical user interface, these allow user to interact with the computer through the icons, images or videos. Example is your smartphones. In case of smartphone, if you open that one, automatically different icons are present. If you want to open the WhatsApp icon is there. If you want to open setting icons are there. Or if you want to play, if you install any games, it's shown images. Actually, icon means it's images. That particular images are present. Desktop backgrounds are present. Everything is there. If you click that one, you get access. But in older days, it's not like that. We have to use the text commands. If you want to open, you have to type the command cd. Cd is the command to open. If you delete the folder, normally how you want to delete the folder? You will click the folder, delete option is there. But in older days, in command line interface, if you want to delete the folder, you have to use the command rm. Remove command is there, rm command. Rm space folder name all the time. So possible to delete. Example for command line user interface, MS-DOS. Microsoft Disk Operating System. Microsoft Disk Operating System. This provides the commands to interact with the system. It uses the commands. The next one is graphical user interface. Example, Windows X. All the Windows system. Other than MS-DOS system, all the Windows systems are example. Same time, Mac OS is there, Linux is there, Android, or anything, any software, but it contains the icons. This is the graphical user interface versus command line interface. So we are finishing the topic here, software concept. In this chapter, we covered with the three types of software. Mainly, computer contains three parts: hardware, software, and user. In software, again divided into two types. One is application software, system software. And system software, again there are three parts: operating system, utilities, and the language translators, and different types of languages, and functions of operating system. The last, command line, user interface, and types of OS. Thank you.